Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are here with another mukbang or eating show, whatever you want to call it. Come eat with me, grab a snack, grab lunch, grab dinner, just come eat with me. So I'm so excited about today. We have some chili cheese dogs and then some Frito pie. I have normal Fritos and then the chili cheese Fritos. So I'm really excited. I was gonna melt the cheese, but I was just too excited, so that's why I didn't. I also have some pickled jalapenos. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. Oh my god. And then I have a lemonade. So, funny story, before I get into today's actual story. I was at my local grocery store in Texas. And it's raining right now, so if you hear the rain in the background, you're welcome for some ASMR. But I went to get the chili mix because I wanted to make the chili homemade, which I did. Well, for the most part, yeah. I was like, why is the chili season? Because we usually get this one that's called false alarm or 2-alarm chili. And it's basically all the seasonings. I mean, it's seasonings we already have in our pantry, honestly. When I was opening up the packets and reading them yesterday, I was like, oh, we have all this stuff. It was cumin, paprika, stuff like that. So, garlic powder. But they only have the mild one. I was like, what is going on? Why are they out of this? I just want some chili cheese dogs. But it's because here in Texas today the high is 66 degrees. So everyone's freaking out and they're making soups and chilies because it's cold. I just wanted for some chili cheese dogs. And I should have known too because I overheard someone saying oh, we need meat for the chili. I was like, whatever. You know, I didn't think anything of it. So, today's story is it's technically, she's still classified as an endangered, missing person. But rude. Someone interrupting me. Spam call. But it's believed that she is unfortunately probably dead. Her name is Martha Lambert. She was 12 years old when she went missing in Florida. It's a very interesting story. It's very sad too. You'll never look at Thanksgiving the same. She disappeared on Thanksgiving in November 27th, 1985. She had 2 older brothers, David and Raymond. And then she had a mom, Margaret, and a dad, Howard. I don't know how old the oldest Raymond was. I'm assuming he's the oldest because David was 14, she was 12. I don't know how old Raymond was. There's not much info on Raymond. So, there are multiple stories to this night. Let's start with the first one, which is that, so apparently it was Thanksgiving night. They went to school like normal. I guess back in the 80s, school was open on Thanksgiving. And she gets home, and her mom, Margaret, goes, "Come on, Martha, we're going to a neighbor's house for like a pre-Thanksgiving or whatever, you know, like for a gathering. Let's go." You know, because back then you could go to social gatherings. Nowadays you can't, so. So. They go to this gathering. The oldest brother, Raymond, is at a church gathering. So Raymond isn't home at all that night. He has a completely foolproof alibi. This is so good. I just got back from the gym. Got my 3 miles in. Got my 10,000 steps in. Lifted some weights. Now I'm here. So anyways, Martha goes, "Hey mom, I'm gonna go home real quick and see when dinner's ready," because Howard, the dad, was cooking dinner at the time. So "I'll be back in 5 minutes." Margaret goes, "Okay." Well, more than 5 minutes pass, and Margaret decides to go looking for her. They can't find her anywhere. They keep searching and searching. So mind you, this was at 7:30, right? Around 7:30, 8 o'clock when all this was happening. Cops are not called to report her missing until 3 a.m. Now, I can understand like 9 or 10 o'clock, you know, because people like me, I freak out really easily. Like, I overthink everything. I instantly go to the worst case scenario. Yeah. So. So maybe we'll just say that maybe her parents aren't like me. And that maybe they thought, "Oh, she'll turn up, like, it's fine." So maybe that explains the, what was that? 7 hours? That's a 7-hour window. That's very weird. But we'll leave it at that because there's more to the story, you know. According to Margaret, when she got home to ask, "Where is Martha?" apparently David was in a very unusual, cheerful mood. And he kept on laughing, and he wouldn't say why he was laughing. So, very interesting. And apparently that's always bothered Margaret to this day, apparently. Now let's talk a little bit about their upbringing. So, the kids were constantly in and out of foster care. Apparently the parents were abusive towards them. And also Howard had a really bad drinking problem. But despite that, it was reported that Martha was such a sweet girl, so smart, so nice, just for the cards that she was dealt with, she was a really good person. She even used to get bullied in school too, because people would make fun of her appearance because they weren't the richest, so she would always kind of look, not raggedy, but she didn't have the best, like, kept up clothes and whatnot like the other kids, which is so rude. Like, people are so rude. Like, I don't know, it just makes me so mad. So they finally called. So it actually wasn't 3 a.m. It was 3:30 a.m. when they called. Police come. And this is also another infuriating part of the case. Like, the police were so adamant. They're like, "No, she's gonna run away. Like, she'll probably be back. Like, you know, whatever." Like they were looking for her, But you know, at the end of the day, they didn't really care that much, you know? So the mom's like adamant. She's like, no, like my daughter, like, she wouldn't even get into a friend's car without asking for permission from me. So like, why would she run away? Why would she get in someone else's car? So police asked neighbors too, have y'all seen anything suspicious? There was one report of a green van that was looking suspicious that was only around that night and that day, I think. And people thought that had something to do with it. I don't think so, because the thing is too with that, if you think about it, it was Thanksgiving. So families are traveling, you know, throughout cities or visiting and whatnot. So maybe it was just someone just visiting someone else for Thanksgiving. That's what I think. So they start searching the woods around her for the next few days, and nothing is found. It's really a dead end. No clothes, no shoes, no nothing to indicate. It's like she just vanished into thin air, basically. So then, police start to grow an interest on David, the brother. And this is where the stories start to not add up at all. I was reading some more on Reddit a few nights ago about this, and at first I had one theory, but then once I read some other comments, I was like, that is so true. So we'll get to those theories, you know, at the end, once we have all the facts. Or as many facts as you can get. It's really just a he said, she said type case, really. So he had 3 different stories initially, I believe. So the first story was, he said, you know, I saw her get into a black car, and then they just drove off, and after that I didn't see her. That was incredible. Then his next story is that after they ate dinner, pay attention to that, after they ate dinner, she said she was going out and she refused to tell him where she was going. That wasn't incredible either. So years pass. It's a cold case. No one really knows anything about what might have happened to her. They've searched everywhere. Couldn't find her. 15 years later, year 2000, David is arrested. And he's arrested for a bad check. And they're interrogating him about it, and they're like, you know what? Because all these years too, the cops think it is him. They just don't have any evidence. You can't just say like, I think, and then arrest someone. That's just not how it works, you know? It just doesn't work that way. They're interrogating him because they're like, you know what? We're just so tired of him. Like, because also too, the thing is, David does suffer from a lot of mental and emotional issues, maybe from the upbringing of having like an alcoholic father and being in our foster homes, and him and Raymond were reported to have, they would run away quite often, so they were troubled in a way, you know. So he tells them that he breaks down finally, and he says, I did kill her. I put her in the mines, and these mines were called the pits. So the police go and search. They can't find anything. And like, bro, like, she's not there. Now, 9 years later, in 2009, David voluntarily talks to investigators. He goes, look, this is what really happened, okay? And this time he's hysterical, he's like upset, like he's very traumatized, I guess you could say. This hot dog's falling apart. He's like, look, so my parents were fighting over the burnt dinner. And me and her went to a convenience store. I gave her $20 to go get some candy after we fought about it. And she came back with $16. And that wasn't enough change for me. I wanted more change. So we got into a fight. I pushed her. She fell back and her head hit a steel pike and killed her instantly. I freaked out because I knew that my parents would kill me for killing my sister. So I grabbed this sign out of the floor, out of the ground, and I used it as a shovel. And I dug her, or I buried her at the old Florida abandoned college. And that's where she is. Now this time, police are like, you know what? I think we finally have it solved. You know? They went to the abandoned Florida college, which in the 90s it had been excavated, which means that they did tear down quite a bit of it and then took away all the debris. So the debris is gone. They did not find her remains, but this time they brought cadaver dogs. And the cadaver dogs did sniff something that was linked to her. However, like I said, it was excavated, so, you know, there's nothing there really. So they believe that her remains are probably maybe even like spread out, you know, like wherever the debris was dumped and then wherever it was taken to, whatever. Basically, she is believed to be just gone now, you know. By now, the dad, Howard, has passed away. Him and Margaret, before he passed, divorced. The divorce also was basically resulted because of their daughter missing, and then they just couldn't get along. You know, they just were like, I don't know if they were blaming each other or what, but it just wasn't working out anymore. So again, they can't do anything because there's no evidence, no nothing. They're just running in circles now, you know. The mom finds out about this confession. She goes and talks to, I think the press, maybe investigators, but, you know, press gets a hold of it, you know, whatever. That's just how it happens. And she's like, I don't know what he's saying. He's crazy. He's psycho. He did not kill her. She was kidnapped. And so then he came back out and recanted his confession, saying that he just wanted to say it so the case would be closed. So I guess with the information of the cadaver dogs kind of finding something, they ended up closing the case. So her case is technically closed now, as of right now. But they said that if anyone has any information, that they will gladly reopen it because they would love for it to be 100% solved case. Now, theories. Let's get to the theories, okay? So, I personally do not believe that she was kidnapped. I don't think someone took her. I don't think she ran away. I 100% believe, allegedly, this is my personal opinion, because he's still out there in the world, David is, and I think Margaret's still alive too. But I think he did hurt his sister, and I think she was killed that day. I don't think she made it past November 27th. Unfortunately, you know, National Food Day, he didn't make it past. I found some theories on Reddit that I strongly believe and back up now, because I didn't even think of it this way. But people think that, yes, David killed his sister, but I mean, at the time when she passed, she was skinny. She was 70 pounds. But also, that was kind of me too. Like, it took me till high school, I think, like freshman year, to hit like 100 pounds. And after that, it was just like downhill. But I remember pretty much my whole childhood, it was hard for me to break 100 pounds, I remember, if I remember correctly. So, she was pretty light, but still, for a 14-year-old boy to drag dead weight, it's pretty heavy. So there is that 7-hour window. I can do math. 7-hour window. And people believe that he probably, because also think of it too, it's Thanksgiving. Not that many people are out and about. The most that people are out and about is on the highways, getting to like a family's house, but mostly it's usually kind of a stay-at-home holiday. Not many people are at the grocery store, at the convenience store. It's not, and it sounds like a really, really small town too. And I found out through reading on Reddit that actually the convenience store and their house is like a 45-minute walk. So, the people believe that he killed her, then he'd either drug her like behind the convenience store or something, because I don't know. Because also too, the story is just kind of weird, because he says they were at the convenience store outside of it, but then wouldn't the convenience store workers see it? So I don't know if they were maybe already kind of walking back home from the convenience store, and that's when the fight ensued. But they believe that he probably drug her body to an area where it wouldn't really be seen, where it could just be like temporarily there for a few hours or like an hour or so. And then he went home, told his mom, and that his mom came and helped him dispose of the body. People are unsure if they believe that the dad had anything to do with it. I don't think so, just because of the accounts of how torn up he was after she went missing. I don't think so. But it is very fishy the way that David tells the story and that Margaret tells the story. Both of their stories don't match up. Margaret claims that she went to go look for Martha before they even ate dinner. But then David says, no, we ate dinner. And then David goes back and says, no, the dinner was burnt, so then we left. And like, those stories don't match up. And then you have 7 hours of that you did not report your daughter missing. I feel like I'm not a parent, so I can't really like speak on it that much, but I feel like after like 2 seconds of not being able to find my kid, I'll be like, hello, I need help. Like, we're gonna wait 7 hours? And two, it's so weird how set the mom is on that she was abducted. And the mom is so adamant, she's like, no, like, look. She was taken, no family member was involved with this, but how do you know? It's a very interesting case because it's just so sad too when innocent people like that, like she's just an innocent little girl, living her best life. It was very strange how the mom and David just go back and forth with the stories. Like, who's right? You know, like, but I believe that it was more than enough time to dispose and just, you know, then come back home and act frantic, you know. And two, from reading the reports, the mom, she was rarely ever interviewed or like interrogated. David was the one who they mainly just focused on, and the parents, both her and Howard, were rarely ever interrogated. Which is strange because, two, even people on Reddit were saying like, I grew up in alcoholic, abusive families, and I don't know why they're not investigated more, because it's most likely that the parents help because, you know, they just, you know, they don't really care, you know. That's the story of Martha. And it's sad because you'll never get like a proper burial, you know. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to interact with you guys. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!